What's up, everybody? It's the Fantasy Dads here with you on a beautiful Transaction Tuesday. It's getting nippy, it's getting cold, but one thing that warms my heart is that most of my teams made the playoffs this year, all except for one. I am in last in one, but boys, it's a big time of the year. Obviously, it's coming down to the wire. All of us are jittery. We got anxiety, but we love it. As always on Transaction Tuesday, we got Smirks, Perks, and myself, Moose. Boys, how are we doing? How are we feeling? Did your teams do well? Are you in the playoffs? Are you feeling good? Are you nervous? Tell me what's up.
Three out of the six that matter made the playoffs, and to make it short and sweet, I'm nervous. But the league is falling apart right now as far as COVID and injuries go. So anything can happen. Like tomorrow, we'll get more big names that test positive. It's not going to be good. There's going to be some people piecing together some lineups this week.
Oh yeah,
It'll get weird.
Yeah, I snuck in one league and then two other leagues. Actually, the Legacy League, I snuck in right above.
you did.
Yeah, I was sliding on a losing streak in Lamar.
By like 15
but I got in there, snuck in another, and then two other leagues. I'm right in first, but
Atta boy.
that I'm only content with it just because, like Smirks was saying, anything could happen in terms of guys just popping up on COVID lists. So I just don't want to worry about this week. I'm on to setting my week 16 lineup.
Oh, no way. This kid, unreal, bro. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen, man. To be honest with you, like, we could all be figuring out lineups. And this is the thing, too, I was saying to myself, right? So I have 6 teams in playoffs, which is pretty good. I got 3 in first place. That actually worries me. Like, the first place teams worry me way more than, like, the last place team. Because, like, the last place team, like, I'm not expected to win. But if I do win, then that's money, right? The first place teams, you gotta win. Like, you gotta win. You can't be that good all season long for your team just 1 week to crumble. It's the worst feeling in the world. So we'll see what happens. It's a big week for waiver wire. Even though there's not as many names, I think we can kind of fine tune everyone's rosters this week. I don't necessarily think that. Moving forward, you should make any big moves. Obviously, you made it with the team that you have. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it. That's usually how I go about it, right? But there's definitely some names out there that we'll talk about. So we'll go through some of the news and injuries. As always with Smirks, we will go into some waiver wires. Again, I think it's just more of fine tuning your team. And kind of dropping guys that probably have really shitty schedules that probably won't see too much volume. And then we'll go into some who would yous. I imagine that the Thursday and Sunday shows will probably be massive this week, more so than this one. But we're here. We're here for the people. So we got a few people on live on TikTok. Thank you very much for joining. If you want to see the entire show, you can hit the link in the bio. You can go straight to our YouTube. If you guys are with us on Facebook, we will try to stay up with your questions, though we are transferring the show, and we're starting now. We're transferring the show to YouTube and TikTok eventually only. And Twitch is on the back burner for now, but eventually we're going to be completely off Facebook. Just a better way for us to consolidate everyone's questions and try to really, fine-tune what we're doing here. But we do have some questions already on TikTok, so we'll take care of those before we go through the news and injuries. Vic's Dog Daycare, as always, here with us. Thanks for joining, buddy. He said Justin Jackson or Joshua Kelly if Eckler is out. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly's he's a bigger guy. They seem to like him. He had 10 carries last week, so he's not going to get much in the passing game, but they already kind of trust him more than I even say Eckler is like a quote unquote like goal line guy. So I would just go with Kelly if Eckler was actually out, but it's too big of a game for him to miss.
Yeah, I think he plays too. They use like an entire roll of tape on that ankle, so he could stay in the game last week. I think he plays. And as for that question, Jackson would definitely. I think he would be more of the pass catching option there. So in maybe in a PPR, I would lean towards him. But Josh Kelly would definitely be the goal line back.
Yeah, and I just have to
Touchdown
agree with you
upside.
guys. I would say Kelly's the one to get. Tony 10101, thanks for joining, man. Said 49ers D or Dolphins D. That's a great question. San Francisco has Atlanta this week. And Miami has the Jets. Listen, both great matchups. The 49ers are obviously rolling. But I'll probably take my chances with the Dolphins right now. They don't have any big playmakers like Pitts or Cordero Patterson. They also don't have a rookie quarterback in Atlanta, so I'll take the Dolphins there.
Yeah, it's the Dolphins. Anytime you can attack the Jets, you got to go ahead and do that.
They guaranteed 2 interceptions.
They're turning the ball over, yeah. Easy, at least 2 or 3 times a game.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, I'll go with the Dolphins too. Just looked at it; they're 8.5-point favorites at home. It's gonna be turnover city by halftime. So definitely go with Miami.
All right, fantastic. Got another question here from Brandon Robert Thammy. Said CEH Gibson Montgomery pick 2. I'll make this nice and easy. Gibson and Montgomery for me. Both great matchups. And they're both true runners. The Chiefs just as much as they've been giving Edwards-Helaire work, they're a pass first team. So give me the two true runners there.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Clyde Montgomery. For me, Gibson just disappointed everybody last week.
He did.
I'm not too confident in that team right now. McLaurin might miss. I think he's in the concussion protocol. Heineke looked really bad last week. I honestly would go with Clyde. That offense is rolling right now, and I know Darrell Williams is getting on the field too, but there's room for both of them. Clyde had 2 touchdowns this past week, so I would go with Clyde and Montgomery.
Of the 3, Gibson against Philly is the best matchup to me, so I want to lock him in. And Montgomery's just more consistent than Clyde's been. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Montgomery and Gibson there too.
And I don't hate what you said either, Kev. I think you're exactly right that Clyde's going to see work. None of them are bad options. If you can put one of those in your flex, I certainly would. Colin Carts 224 said, "Can you buy MJ10 gear?" Are you asking me if I can, or are you saying in general? Because I don't know if he has any gear out, but you're damn straight. I'm gonna grab some. Retweets Junior said, "Top waiver wire pickups for this week playoffs." We'll get into that, man. Anyone else a victim to Myles Gaskin this year? To be honest with you, dude, first off, yes, I traded him everywhere I could before week 8, and pretty much at the trade deadline. But I'll be honest, canned mayonnaise, Myles Gaskin has been wildly efficient compared to how we viewed his inconsistency. He's the RB 18 right now in PPR, which is crazy because I don't know about you guys. I don't feel that way about Myles Gaskin at all. He's blown up weeks. He's literally lost weeks for me. So yeah, disappointed. A victim. You can say it all. Yeah, it's just inconsistent. It's like playing a wide receiver. It's just not. It just sucks. All right, cool. Renfro or Jacobs? Who do I put in the flex? This is from Big Rye Surprise.
I'll get you Renfro. Boy. I mean, well, if it's PPR, it's Renfro absolutely 100%.
It's Renfro, yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, I think we're at that point because you can't bench him.
Dude, look at his last 3 games, and then the last 5 out of his last 6. You can't put that on your bench anymore. He's become must start.
Yeah, it's Renfro for me. Everybody that knows me knows I'm a wide receiver whore. And Renfro's just that dude right now. Should I try Julio this week or what? He said. It depends on over who. Big rise surprise. I mean, I think you can, depending on who you have. I don't know. I need to know who you have. Give me like options. Give us options here. My wide receivers and flex are Cup, C. Patterson, and my flex is CD. Brandon said that. That's pretty good, dude.
You can't try Julio then. I don't know.
I don't think not the same guy. Not the same guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, not the same dude. Oh, he was saying that in regards to putting CEH. Oh yeah, no, you got to keep Patterson, CD, and Cup in. That was the CEH question too. So, all right, cool. Who's a good streaming tight end this week if Hooper doesn't play? It's a good question. We can get into that. I mean,
all right. Sneaky ads I was gonna say is Everett.
Yeah, always.
I think he can. Yeah, he's first off, he's available. Like I don't know what league you're in. He's available. Got the Rams this week. They're obviously I think they're gonna get Ramsey back, so they'll obviously be tight on the outside. So they might be looking for him a little bit more. So he could be a sneaky ad, and he's always a threat to plop in the end zone. So yeah, I would look for Everett.
For me, if Hooper just tested positive today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he probably will be out, but Njoku might be back. Because he tested positive a few days ago. He might make it back for Sunday. If Hooper's out, Njoku will get basically all of those tight end targets against a bad defense right now. So I would target him.
I'm going to give you a name that I've never said and probably will never say again. And it's not because I any dislike. It would usually be because I dislike the guy. It's Brevin Jordan. It's Brevin Jordan out of Houston. The guy scored 2 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He finished the number 6 last week, had 7 targets, 4 receptions. I'll take those numbers, man. Listen, if you're in a desperate enough spot, like I'm looking at this league, I'm just looking at a league where I have, there's just nobody available. There's Donald Parham Jr., there's Nick Vanette, there's Albert Okwuegbunam. I think I said that right. And Brevin Jordan just sticks out because they're playing Jacksonville. He scores 2.3 points more than projected almost every time, and the matchup is fantastic. I know it's crazy, but Brevin Jordan would probably be an option.
I got one more dart throw is Josiah DeGuara from Green Bay.
Shit. I don't hate that. He's turning into like a little Robert Tonyan light, that guy.
Yeah, he did get a touchdown a couple weeks ago. The targets just aren't there yet, but 3 for 44. Yeah. That was a career high for yards for him this past week.
Didn't he have like a 25-yarder this past week?
Yeah, he caught a long one. And Aaron Rodgers is always a threat to just fucking throw 4 or 5 touchdowns every week. So he would be another guy.
He is.
Throw a dart.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on. We got some questions here. Thank you guys. Please be patient. I promise we'll get to your questions as soon as we can. We're trying to dissect everything. It's playoffs week, man, so we're trying to be as thorough as possible. Michael Carter or James Robinson from Preston 12390. I mean, I'll probably take James Robinson. They're playing Houston, right?
Yeah, even though he put up the donut this past week, right?
So bad, man. Yeah, that's bad. I mean, so he was very clear. I mean, he had 6 rushes, but very clearly hurt. No.
Was he hurt, or is the team just terrible?
It's probably a little bit of both. They're in absolute shambles. But I would probably average him this week as like a low end RB2. Like if I had to put like a real guess on it, like I think you can definitely start him.
He can be started. And we just seen what Penny did to that defense. But
yeah, not good.
I think Carter is a play that I'd be comfortable with over him. We've seen Carter get really involved when the Jets are trailing behind. So I mean, we just said how much we like Miami's defense and how they should be controlling this game. So I could see this be a game where Carter gets 7-8 catches out the backfield and I mean, that in and of itself will just create opportunity or create volume in terms of yardage, and he might just outscore Robinson this week.
Yeah, it just worries me him coming back from the IR a little bit. And the bright spot, and this is gonna sound crazy, the bright spot is that James Robinson still had 85% of their carries this past week, which is just insane, right? Like that doesn't make sense. It shouldn't make sense, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'll probably take James Robinson. Smirks, did you say who you take there?
Yeah, I'm gonna give J Rob one more shot against Houston, just because they're both terrible football teams. I think the Jags. I don't think they're gonna be as behind as they were against Tennessee, stuck in the mud. I think they should be able to move the ball a little better, and J Rob should be able to get into the end zone.
Yeah. All right, but again, great question. That's a fantastic one. Retweets Junior, do you think Henderson will be back? No idea, man. This COVID thing, I have no idea. I can't even. I'm not even gonna go to these guys. Unfortunately, we just don't know. Just gotta listen to the news, man.
I got something to say though. No matter what, Sony Michel is part of the offense, even if Henderson comes back.
Yep, that was unbelievable.
Well,
what was his yards per carry? Was it over 6?
It was good. We can go back and look, but
I'm not gonna.
Really good.
That's fine. You can look or not, but I mean, my point being is that it was some of the most efficient running I've seen from Michelle ever.
It was 4, but it was
4.
Yeah, it was just 4 flat, but it was productive and like you're saying, like he was always moving forward. Like,
it was efficient, man.
It wasn't like 2 yards, a loss, and then busting a run. Like it was always forward.
He's definitely looked fresh. He's looked good these past couple weeks, so I think he stays a part of that offense.
I think so too. I'd agree. Juice 8055 said start Tua as a question mark. My initial answer wants to be no, but I don't know who you'd be starting him over. So let us know and let us know who you'd be starting him over. Chris the Thag 1234. Thanks for coming back, man. Always recognize your name. Waddle or Aaron Jones? Oh shit, we are in it this week, baby. We are fucking in it to win it. She. That's tough because Waddle has been a superstar. And Aaron Jones is like a bona fide running back on a fantastic team, but they play Baltimore, and he's been averaging negative 1.7 compared to the projections, which isn't good for running back. It's generally not great.
Jones he hasn't given you like a real stud game though in some time.
No, I mean, since that 44-point game, right? Really?
Yeah. So we're talking was it Arizona? Yeah. Or no. Even
it was week 2 against Detroit.
Yeah.
It was the 4 touchdown game.
Yeah, the 4. Yeah. But so I'm going Waddle. I don't see how you could sit him.
Yep.
I mean, I would like to see who his running backs are, so he's got 2 locked in before Aaron Jones. But I mean, this is the type of situation where you're not really outsmarting your room by saying, "Hey, Waddle's better than Jones right now," because the reality is Waddle is better than Jones right now. So, I mean, sit him and put your team in the best position to advance.
Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Waddle too. I'm gonna agree.
AJ Dillon has been just getting way too much work. If Aaron Jones doesn't score those both 2 touchdowns this week, the workload that he had leaves a lot to be desired. And we know Waddle's just getting peppered with targets, no matter what. So,
and they're going against the Jets, so
they sure are.
Yeah. You are down. Horrendous said, "Yo, what's good, man?" Hop 245 said, "Co-host." Yeah, I have 2 co-hosts with me. If you hit the link in the bio, you can see both of their pretty little faces in an overlay. But I come on live on TikTok just to see the questions we get. So yeah, give your thoughts on Packers or Bucks for the NFC. I'll keep this short because we're mostly a fantasy team. 2 fucking wagons. They're wagons. What else can you say? They're just really good football teams, you know. So yeah. Waddle, Pittman, or Gage? I'm gonna make this easy. I'm gonna go Waddle.
Waddle.
Waddle. You got 3 Waddles there. Metcalf, Higgins, or McLaurin. Holy shit. That is that is I've said this before, I'll say it again. It almost gets harder when you have to decide between better players. It gets harder than when you have to decide between shitty players, because then you can just take a chance. That's
to start. I mean, McLaurin, he had a concussion, so we'll see how
he might not play.
Yeah,
chance he doesn't play.
I mean, they are all going to be ranked fairly simple. DK Metcalf's got the Rams, McLaurin's got Philly, Pittman's got New England. Like, those are not ideal matchups. If McLaurin goes, I'm playing McLaurin.
Wasn't it Higgins?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Metcalf, Higgins, or McLaurin. You're right. My bad. Even Higgins. He's got Denver. It's not fantastic.
Yeah, they got a pretty decent defense, man. Surtain is a stud. But I think I would go with T.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a T. Higgins fan through, man.
Getting it done. It's been all Tyler Lockett since Russ came back. And then McLaurin, even if he plays, he's going to have Darius Slay all over him. I just roll the dice, take T. Higgins in a must-win game for the Bengals.
I would go, assuming all 3 play, I would go McLaurin, Higgins, Metcalf. Yeah, I think that's the order. Surtain's he'll probably see Jamar Chase a lot more. Either way, Denver's defense has really stepped up. They're showing out right now.
They definitely are.
3 weeks in a row, he's gone over 100.
Yeah, it's just against some good defenses too. I'll take T. I've always been a T fan. I bought a fucking signed picture. That is my boy. So give me T. We got another question from Quack Duck 32. Jacobs or Robinson?
Give me Jacobs.
Yeah, it's Jacobs.
And I like the matchup for Robinson too, but like.
Yeah. No, I'll take Jacobs too. If Henderson is out, Sony, Freeman, or Dillon?
Sony. Take Sony.
Yeah, Sony, Freeman, and Dillon. I'll take Dillon. I'll take Dillon in that, but these 2 guys will take Sony.
I mean, if Henderson doesn't play, Sony's going to get 20 carries.
You think he'll get 20 carries again, though?
I mean, why not? That's 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, it is versus Seattle. You're right.
The green script should be.
No, you're right.
I don't see why he wouldn't. They're not going to be like playing from behind unless, some wacky divisional game shit happens. But I don't see Seattle getting up big. Even if Seattle upsets them, they're not going to be up big at any point in that game.
No, and you know what? The pass work in those types of games are always tough too. But even with 20 carries, like, he was efficient, still only 8 points PPR. It's tough. I'll stick with Dillon, but these 2 guys will go with Sony. I'll mix it up. Beasley, Judy, Julio, Knox, pick 2. Oh boy.
You said Beasley, Judy?
Julio? Beasley, Judy, Julio, Knox, pick 2. Well, give me.
I want the teammates, but I'll let you guys go first.
I'll take. All right. So the first thing my mind went to was Knox, because the red zone targets are there. I'll take the touchdown upside.
I'm gonna take both Bills, Moose. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sanders has a knee sprain that he could miss time, so that just opens up even more targets for Beasley and Knox, Gabriel Davis. Yep. Yeah, I would go with the 2 Bills on that list.
Yeah, I'll agree. Just the matchup is sound, and with Sanders out, that's a true story. So this guy comes back every time, wants me to sing the national anthem. It's great. Real Slapman said Waddle or Cordero. That one's a little bit tougher, but I'll probably stick with Cordero. Even though I love Waddle, if you can find a way to get Waddle in your lineup, dude, I would do it. But Cordero Patterson's like, I mean, he's lights out, and they got San Francisco. They're gonna have to put the ball in the air, and I imagine he's gonna be a significant part of that. So, that's tough, but it hurts me not to say Waddle, but I'll go Cordero. CPAT.
Yeah, that's the line, right? Yeah, go Cordero, and congrats to anyone that picked him up early. Because I mean, is he the waiver wire pickup of the year?
100%. It's not. I thought it was gonna be Eli Mitchell. It's Cordero, dude. He's unbelievable. He's top 10.
Yeah,
He's
so
top 10.
Mitchell would be the only guy, but he's missed I think 2 games in between. So yeah, 2 games he's missed. So it's got to be Cordero.
Yep.
And sneaking in as a wide.
I wish it could be both.
Yeah, right. Somebody said, "Are you a Patriots fan?" Yes, I am. Don't start running backs against Baltimore. I don't know if I would agree with that. I think that you can. I'll be honest with you guys. This week, I kind of have a feeling AJ Dillon will get a larger portion of the work than Aaron Jones, though. It's just like one of those gut feelings I have because I own Aaron Jones in so many leagues and I own AJ Dillon in so many leagues. It's going to be like the time I put Aaron Jones out there because you like have to. And Baltimore's been like they've been pretty good against running backs. Don't get me wrong. They're like top 6 right now, but they're still giving up, 15.8 per game in fantasy points. So I think you can. I just think you're going to catch the shit end of the stick compared to, some other teams. If you got a running back that's against the Jets or the Lions, Raiders, Texans, Chargers, Seahawks, teams like that, it's going to be a little bit different. Oh, this is the one I was waiting for, and I actually had it in our Who Would-Yous for tonight. Taysom Hill or Kirk Cousins?
Do I have to talk on this one? I mean, I'm going Taysom Hill. Like, I mean, first, the Bucks are a great defense. They're great up front though, and I think there's going to be a little bit of exposure through the passing game that Taysom could take advantage of. He gives you a better baseline on the ground, so even if he gets you 50 yards and a touchdown that way, then the ground he has to make up through the air with Cousins becomes minimized. So, yeah, I'm going Hill.
I would go Hill too. Just the rushing yards tough to find in a quarterback. I mean, you got Jalen Hurts, Taysom Hill, Lamar, and Kyler. Really, Josh Allen number 1. But you got to find that cheat code, man. Taysom Hill has it right now.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. Both are really close in points per game against the QB. For the sake of arguments, I'll go with Kirk Cousins. I just think he's gonna light Chicago's D up. I don't even know. They may not even win the game. I mean, the guys that they lost to the Lions, but I'll take Kirk Cousins. Taysom Hill or Aaron Rodgers?
That one's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'll go with Aaron Rodgers there.
There's some guys that I'm not benching. Rodgers, Brady, Allen.
Yeah, definitely Rodgers. Perks, you too, or are you still going Taysom Hill?
Oh, don't make me say it. You know.
Oh, you gotta.
No, I would go Rodgers there, but
all right.
Like, yeah, I guess that's the line.
The resident Saints fan is not happy about Aaron Rodgers. Hurts or Allen? Gotta go Josh Allen.
Yeah, I don't care if he's hurt.
Yeah, nope. If he's playing, you play him.
We saw what he can do. I mean, we've been seeing it for 3 years now. They got to win. They got to win this game at home. Carolina is not a very good football team. Give me Josh Allen.
Yeah, make it 3 for 3. I was actually gonna check to see is Hurts definitely playing this week? He's for sure back.
I think he's back. Yeah, and he has an awesome matchup against Washington. But Yeah. All right, going through the questions here. Jacobs will have a bounce back game. Very well could. Tom Brady the GOAT. That's a fact. Mike Gesicki or Dawson Knox? I love tight end questions. It's like my favorite thing because we rarely get them. We answer so many questions about the same guys over and over, like those bubble guys. But yeah, Gesicki's hard to sit against the Jets, but with Sanders down and probably out, I'd probably still play Dawson Knox. He just has more of a likelihood to go over his projected points. Over his previous 14 games, Dawson Knox has exceeded his projection 71% of the time. Average points is 3.4 over projected. Mike Gesicki's is not nearly that close. So I'll take those numbers. I'll moneyball that.
Yeah, I'm with you with Dawson Knox too. I think Gesicki is going to start to get knocked down a little bit with Devontae Parker coming back into the fold. He came back. I think he took about 8 targets from Tua. So, and they just had to buy. So I think that trend will move forward, and it'll be Waddle and Parker as primary targets.
Yeah, I like Knox. I like the fact that Sanders is out, but we did see what Dallas Goedert did to the Jets a couple weeks ago. I think Gesicki has a chance to have a huge game. I'll go with Gesicki. Will be a little different.
I like it, Kev. I like that out of you.
Yeah, he did still have 11 targets in that last game too, even with Parker back. So
it's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. Mr. Lizard Math said Pats lose first round playoffs. I mean, I don't want to come off as cocky, Mr. Lizard Math, but I got to tell you something. Right now, we're the number 1 seed, so we actually won't play in the first round of playoffs. So next, as the barber says. Yeah, but I mean, we've seen it happen before, so who knows what the fuck is gonna happen? I traded Patterson for Cook. Win. Is that a win? Is that a win? I would consider that a win, probably, but Cook hasn't. I mean, he's been off the field a little bit. He definitely isn't. I don't think he's higher than him in the overall rankings on the year. But if you're looking for a solidified running back,
it's a win. Dalvin just went for 200 yards.
Yeah. Can we explain how Cordero suddenly became useful this late in his career? Yes, we can. Arthur Smith may not know how to win a lot of games, but he knows one damn thing, and that's Cordero Patterson. I wouldn't say he's become useful just now. I mean, he's always been a good returner. I just think Arthur Smith in that offense has found a way, and they have some will to give him the ball, and he makes use of it. Somehow we couldn't do that in New England. He was playing running back here, and we just couldn't figure it out. So, yeah.
He had a solid year for us, man.
Yeah, it hasn't been. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It's
4 touchdowns, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just crazy.
Definitely better fantasy-wise in New England than he was in Chicago.
Yes.
I'm looking at his history right now.
Well, in Chicago, he was solely a returner, no?
No, he played some running back, but not much. Yeah. He barely touched the ball. Yeah, he barely had any targets. They weren't utilizing him, man. Yeah.
I mean, he's just a God-given athlete. He's just a monster of a man, and Arthur Smith has found a way to make it work. So, I mean, good for them. Good for him. I love that dude. Cordero Patterson's he's a wicked guy. So, Vic said $10K for a beer chug. Sure. Yeah. Sure. I had hockey last night. I got home at about 1 a.m., but sure. Yeah, why not? Renfro's the man. That's a fact. We're coming over here. Hill or Aaron Rodgers? We answered that with Aaron Rodgers across the board. Ayuk or Pittman flex?
I like that one, but it's Ayuk.
This week is Ayuk. I like Pittman more, like just as a talent, just as a usual flex play. But this week, matchup dependent is Ayuk.
Yeah, for me it's Ayuk. I don't like Pittman against the Pats this week. We got something from Tanner Bird, 3. I'm done though. My best running back is James Robinson with McKissick and Pollard.
Sheesh.
That's rough. Oh, you know what? Ask Rhino who he's working with in one of his playoff runs, and you'll puke. Like he would die to have that right now. Rhino's had some bad luck this year. How will Miami defense do against the Jets?
Tear it up.
They're gonna absolutely ruin East Rutherford. They're in Miami. Even worse.
Miami,
Even worse.
Better.
I would expect like 20 plus points from Miami's defense, to be honest with you. Will Waller play? I need him back. I need him back too, man. I don't know.
You better call up the Vegas team doctor and ask.
Yeah, we have no idea. It's early in the week too. It's early, Josh. Pay attention if you can. What I do and how I get my news. Well, first off, I'm subscribed to something that gives me updates all the time. But on Twitter, if you just go on Twitter and you sign up for alerts with Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, you can usually figure it out on there. But just pay attention to the practice reports. Pick 2: James Robinson, McKissick, or Pollard, and Mike Davis. And this is the same guy that said he's hurt, and we get it. Thank you for the follow, Tanner. Very much appreciated.
That's hurting my brain. But it's got to be Robinson and Pollard if Pollard plays.
Yeah.
Is he gonna play? I mean, again, I can't be the judge of that. But
encouraging report. Mike McCarthy said he feels a lot better about Pollard this week.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna play.
And
James Robinson is the clear person that you're definitely playing.
Yeah. Robinson's the guy. Well, for him, he's the guy. And
he's the guy.
There would have to be someone else I'd pick up over the waiver wire over Mike Davis. I would pray one of the other two get healthy, and that would be the second.
Assuming the other two get healthy, I would go with J.D. McKissick if it's PPR. But if it's half point or standard, I would go with Tony Pollard. All right. Oh boy, the likes are coming in. People want to see me chug a beer on a Tuesday. It's not looking good, fellas. Pittman, Saquon, Chubb, Aaron Jones, Foreman, Gesicki. Which 3 you start? Holy shit, Captain Scraggs. All right, if you're still with us, give me a sec. We're gonna roll our way through this one. Okay, so we got Pittman. I'd sit him. Okay, Saquon, Chubb, Aaron Jones, Foreman, Gesicki.
You got to start Chubb.
I agree.
Green Hunt's out, and they're playing the Raiders.
Chubb, yeah, you got to start Chubb.
I would sit Saquon against Dallas. That defense is looking really good. And now I would pick Aaron Jones.
I mean, it's
a good problem to have.
That's a good problem to have, but I think I would go Pittman. I'm sorry, I think I would go Chubb and Aaron Jones. I think I'd play it safe. Those are 2 really safe floors. So, yeah. All right, Josh Lawrence said, what do you think of Penny in Seattle? I don't know what to think. I didn't take him anywhere. I didn't grab him anywhere. I didn't want to touch him. I thought his career was over. I retired him from fantasy officially like 2 weeks ago. So I don't know what to think about him. But I know Kev has a lot of thoughts on Penny. So,
well, I was a little early on him. I picked him up the first time he came back.
Yeah,
and that didn't work out well. He had a combined 13 attempts for 16 yards when he came back.
Unreal.
Then they went on a bye. He missed another game. He came back again, had 2 carries for 19 yards, missed another game. I mean, there was no reason to trust him until Pete Carroll came out and said he's going to be a major part of this offense this week. And it was Houston, so I guess, it was a smart move to add him last week. But I really did not have much faith in him. And he popped off. But
Yep,
do I think he does it
naturally.
again against the Rams? I do not. I don't think he's going to have a game like that, but he's definitely worth having on your roster. Because Alex
Yep.
Collins is a bomb. Adrian Peterson's like 40 now. So, I mean, they got to use somebody. The matchups after the Rams are better. Much better.
Yeah. I think so too.
I would just throw out that Homer didn't play the last game, and I think they like him enough to get him involved too. So I could see Penny and Homer being a 1-2 punch, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't trust him to produce what he just did.
No, I don't think not against the Rams. But moving forward, he's a great stash. Chris Atheg, rate my running backs 1 to 10. Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, Cordero Patterson. First of all, you need more running backs. Second of all, give you like a 8.5. I think that's a great running back group. I think you have a lot of options there. I don't know if you could do much better, but 8.5. Everybody good? Everybody good. Right, pick 2, James Robinson, Mike Davis, Pollard, McKissick. We just did that. Rams or Dolphins D?
Dolphins.
You got to go Dolphins. They're the number 1 D to have this week, in my opinion.
Yeah, who knows? Russ could be Russ, and then next thing you know, the Rams.
Yeah. Russ needs to find Lockett twice to make it a bad day for your defense. Like, realistically, like, Russ needs to find them twice.
Your defense has to score a touchdown to really deliver. So it can be completely random. But if we're just attacking the worst quarterbacks, then yeah, you're going with the Dolphins. You want to attack Zach Wilson. Trust that process, that he's going to turn it over. He's going to get sacked.
Yeah, agreed. And I made a mistake with Captain Scragg's comment here. So we chose Chubb and Aaron Jones. He needed 3 to start. So who else would you start between Pittman, Saquon, Foreman, Gesicki?
Probably Saquon.
Probably Saquon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Scrags. My bad. Thanks for the follow, though, bro. Appreciate it. Moose 10K. You're not at 10K, bro. You're at 5.1, Vic. You got it. Those are rookie numbers.
Stopping, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome, Captain. Thanks for the follow again, man. My bad. It's been a long couple of days already. I'm already like clocked out for Christmas. I'm like ready for those days off. All right, fantastic. No outstanding questions. So how about we do this? Let's skip the news and injuries. Let's start talking a little bit of waiver ads. I think that's probably the way to go. What's that? What just happened?
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it was. All right. I didn't hear what was said. So, yeah, I think it would be best if we jumped right into waivers. I'll say this first and foremost. I hope if you weren't in a position, if you were in a position to succeed and make the playoffs, I hope you saved your waiver wire. I hope you saved your priority. That's what I'll say. I think, top 5 waiver wires in all 6 of my leagues right now. That's the way I like to do it. But, yeah. Oh, Rhino has a question. Rex Burkhead or Samaje Perine? To stash, I would say Samaje Perine, because I'm not playing Burkhead, and I'm probably not playing Samaje unless Mixon goes down.
Right is, bro. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, right? You probably would.
You're
crazy, bro.
It's got to be Burkhead because Mixon's probably going to play, right? As far as
probably.
we know.
As a play, Burkhead, but I'm with Moose as a stash. If Mixon got hurt, he's been hurt before. Like, this has been relatively healthy this year, but
right.
And yeah, Perine's automatic.
He said to stash. Yeah, I would stash Samaje.
Perine for sure.
Yeah, Perine. Josh Lawrence said Carter is on my wire.
Michael Carter, scoop him up.
Definitely scoop him up.
Not for long.
President Carter. Yeah. All right. Well, Kev, let's jump into waiver wire while we have no outstanding questions. Who do you like first and foremost?
Rashad Penny would be the number one, I believe. I mean, he's still low owned on Sleeper. He's 24% rostered, and he could be the starting running back. So that's hard to find right now. But like that guy just said, if Michael Carter is available, he's the number one waiver ad. But I don't think he's available in too many leagues. Dearness Johnson's a name you got to look at again if he's available, because Hunt is out again. And they always like to mix in a second running back. And if Chubb is to ever go down and it's the Dearness Johnson show, we know how that goes. He will smash in that position. So those are two, Penny and Dearness Johnson, right out of the gate that I think you need to add at running back.
Got a quick question, Kev.
What's up, dude?
From Captain Scraggs, he said, should I prioritize the Pats defense or Rashad Penny?
Penny, you're gonna want to prioritize getting the running backs. Just in case you got the running back, but you move on to the next round of the playoffs, you're gonna need a running back. Defenses are streamable, man. The Colts aren't that bad, where I think you have to play the Patriots defense this week. So there's other defenses you can use.
You could probably get a piece of Cincinnati this week. You could probably get a piece of Minnesota this week. Even Denver.
Philly. Cleveland. Minnesota. Yeah. There's defenses you can use, man.
Yeah, there's some pieces there. So go after the running back, Cap.
I know Moose really likes this wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, so I'll let him talk about him.
Yeah, I love this guy. I drafted him pretty much everywhere I could during the draft this year, and I didn't hold on to him. That's for damn sure. And for good reason, because through weeks 1 to 12, he was not great. But the last 2 weeks, he's gotten 12 targets per game, and that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, to get 12 targets 2 weeks in a row, there's an obvious connection between Goff and him. And I think it continues moving forward. I do think that, he needs to score touchdowns, though. Ultimately, he needs to score touchdowns. Getting 15 points in the playoffs is great, but if you get one more touchdown on top of that, if you're getting, between 18 and 21 to 22 points, that's like money right there. So the 12 targets is great. I'd love to see him get a little bit more red zone work, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, 12% owned, the average across all platforms. He would probably be my number one wide receiver pickup. There are 2 or 3 other guys that I think I would consider heavily, and then a few others that I think I would stash. But yeah, overall, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's the dude right now.
Yeah, there's 3 that they should be smash ads if they're not owned.
Agreed.
I'm going to talk about one more, and then I'll let Perks pick one. But Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rhino's boy.
Rhino's boy.
Landry just went on the COVID list. Beckham's already gone. He's the man right now. 7 targets last week, and they're in the thick of this playoff hunt, man. They got to win some games. I think DPJ is a great ad, and he's still only owned on Sleeper. I believe it was 19%, and it's less than that on ESPN. He should definitely be rostered. Absolutely should be rostered.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just kind of tied to the Baker struggles right now, but I think he'll get over it, and then if he does, he'll be a guy that blows up. I want to throw out 2 people out there, and we've had a lot of tight end questions. So, let's go hit both of these guys right now. First one's going to be just based off their schedule, and that's Ricky Seals-Jones. We know Logan Thomas is out for the year with a confirmed torn ACL. He missed last week. Jones had 4 targets. He didn't do much with it, but he does get the Eagles twice and then the Cowboys again. So he has opportunity to make up for that weak performance. And it's just he's definitely a streamable option for you if you're unsure or if you're missing somebody or somebody else goes down. He's a good guy to pick up and just have on your bench so no one else has to pick him up. And then also Cole Kmet. Now, he's an opportunist because he's had 23 targets the last 3 weeks combined. I mean, I was not like, he's got 69 targets of that whole span, but yeah, he's got 23 targets. It's really just with the struggles of Fields and Dalton, but I feel like he could be another guy, especially coming up in this week against Minnesota. That could be a streamable option for you too if you're really hurting at the position.
Yeah. There's one more wide receiver. Well, 2 more. One that you should have added last week that is still only 26% owned on ESPN, KJ Osborne. Until Thielen comes back, you got to have him on your roster. He's startable right
He's
now.
a top 25 wide receiver.
Well, yeah, while Thielen's out, dude, 7 targets, 9 targets. He got the long touchdown last week. Definitely needs to be scooped up if he's not.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
for Gabriel Davis, Emmanuel Sanders, they're calling him week to week. And we know Josh Allen can really spread the ball out. And even with Sanders on the field, Gabriel Davis was always a threat for a touchdown. He just wasn't really getting the target volume. This could propel him to another level, really. If Sanders
you're not wrong.
If Sanders misses all the way up to that Atlanta game, like the Bills could hang 50 on Atlanta. That's such a bad defense. So I think he could smash.
Easily. Yeah,
I think he should definitely be owned.
Yeah, 100%.
We lost him.
Oh, yeah, all right. I had someone else I wanted to throw out there too because he was a bit of a mid-season ad, then he probably got dropped but popped again last week, and that's Rashard Bateman. When he first obviously was dealing with injury at the beginning of the year, got healthy, showed up his first couple weeks, at least with the target share. He was getting 8 targets, but still considerably behind Hollywood. And then this week was the first week that they actually evened up at the target share at 8 apiece, but he did much more with his. So he went 7 for 103. And that's against a Cleveland defense that front was having their way with the Ravens line. And of course, Lamar went out. So it was kind of more of like, it wasn't a prime position like for him. This week against Green Bay, we've seen that defense could be vulnerable. And then even moving forward, they got Cincinnati the week after. I feel like this would be a good time to add Bateman if you need a wide receiver 3. You could slot him right in there and hope for some repeat performances.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost Wi-Fi there for a second. We do have a couple of outstanding. Of course, I was just about to start talking about it too. Josh Lawrence, 66, said, "Don't sleep on Schefter's guy in Detroit, Craig Reynolds." I'll be honest with you. So it's not so much that I'm trying to sleep on him, but he's not a guy I would target. I just don't. I don't see myself playing him. I don't see the value in adding him over a guy like, as crazy it's going to sound, like Josh Howard or Boston Scott. Like Miles Sanders has had some injury history this year. I'd probably go and add one of those guys first. Dearness Johnson is another guy I'd go after before I go after Craig Reynolds. But again, I mean, it's not like a horrible ad. Like if you have a super deep league, I don't see any problem with it. Vic's been talking about fucking Zach Pascal for the past 5 minutes. First he said Pascal is a start this week. Then he said opinion on Pascal. I like Pascal this week. I do not. I think Zach Pascal is not. All due respect, I don't think Zach Pascal's a start. I don't mind him as maybe a stash, but even then, like, I mean, he's finished outside of the top 75 the last 4 weeks, and I don't think playing against New England is going to help that, even though we have other things to be worried about. I think for DFS purposes, if you wanted to throw him into a lineup, I think that's perfectly fine. But as far as a start in the playoffs go, Vic, I don't know if I'd be doing that. He said, "Is this DBJ again for me?" Yes. Only way worse. Only way worse. Vic's
I'd rather
losing.
start Ashton Doolin over Zach Pascal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Jack Likes Monkeys said waiver replacement for Thielen. Good thing he came by. We just talked about him. His name's KJ Osborne.
You might be owned, but go get DPJ. Go get Gabriel Davis.
Oh yeah, and I'll throw out another name too. And I didn't hear whether you guys spoke about him. Devontae Parker. They got the Jets, the Saints, and Tennessee, and I like that. I like those odds. I don't think Will Fuller is going to be back, as far as I know.
I got another name.
But Devontae Parker is another person that I would definitely go after.
For the people playing in leagues like us, Moose, where these guys who are available in 50% of the leagues aren't available.
They are not.
I got a deep cut. 0.3% owned on ESPN. Braxton Berrios had 10 targets this week. The Jets have no wide receivers.
Are you kidding me?
Elijah Noble.
I like you're so right. But it's like,
bro, if you need a PPR guy and you're in like a 14-team league, then you need a guy that you can just put in your lineup. I mean, honestly, if you're in a position where you would need to use Berrios, you're probably not in the playoffs, but is a name worth looking at with that target volume, and the matchup is not terrible.
I don't disagree. Jack Likes Monkeys said KJ, Bateman, or Gabe Davis. For me, it's between KJ and Gabe Davis, I think. And it's tough. It's not easy because KJ, when Adam Thielen is out, he's top 20. That's where his average is. So for me, it's probably KJ, man. 7 and 9 targets since he's been out. And versus Chicago, it's only going to be better. Like, that could very well win you your week one. Your week one in the playoffs. Like, that could. I mean, I love Gabe Davis. I love his red zone opportunity. He's got 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games. But there's not that many targets. It's 4 and 8. It doesn't do it for me.
For me,
so
I would add Osborne and I would add Bateman if you can add them both. If Thielen plays, then I wouldn't use Osborne. If Thielen's out, then you're using Osborne. But I think you can. Bateman is like Park said earlier. Bateman, you can probably use him this week. Wide receiver 3 or a flex. I mean, his targets and his snaps were back up. I don't know why they had dipped back down. I don't know if it had to do with that illness that he had, that Lamar had also had, that went around that clubhouse. But his targets were back up where they had been, and his snaps. So I think he's usable in a game where they're certainly going to have to air the ball out to beat Green Bay.
Yeah, previously on Fantasy Dads Moose, while you were gone, I did pump up Bateman a bit. And I mean, it was the first time he saw equal target share to Hollywood. I'm not saying he's going to overtake him, but
that's good. No, that's a good sign.
It's just interesting. Yeah, it's not a dominant like, all right, well, you're clearly the third receiver or the third option right after Andrews. But in terms of that hierarchy, you can't go wrong with Osborne. I mean, he's been tried and true early on in the year, and then like you're saying, like right now against Chicago, that is a primetime matchup for him to shine again. I mean, every time he catches the ball, like it just seems like he's wide open. Like I don't know. He's a receiver.
Yeah, the route running is spectacular. One more name I'll throw out. I don't know if I missed it while I was gone. Alan Lazard.
Oof, yeah.
I mean, he's 4% owned. He went off this week. And again, touchdown upside. I realize it. I know it. 7 targets, 6 receptions, 75 yards, 1 rush for 14, and a touchdown. He may become a part of this offense. But again, I don't know if I'd go playing him compared to the other guys we've mentioned already. MVS wasn't entirely involved this week, which scares me a little bit more because he got 10 targets and 9 targets. Maybe they're just trying to incorporate more of Allen Lazard in. I'm not sure. You got to read between the lines and go with your gut on that. But
I just think that it's going to be one or the other. Like, you're going to have Adams. He's going to do his thing. And then either Lazard or MVS are going to have their day. It's never going to be both. It's going to be hard to predict, too. MVS, he still had the 5 targets, but it was a Lazard day. Whereas the 2 weeks before that were more of MVS days with the targets. Really tough to predict there. I wouldn't want to get stuck having to rely on either of them, but
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
I do agree that he's worth having on a roster in deeper leagues for sure.
If you have the space. I think he's a good ad. But yeah, as far as everybody else, I think we've pretty much mentioned everything. Josh Lawrence, 66, said, I'm a Raiders fan. Season's over. All I have is fantasy. That's tough. That's tough. And Super Bowl squares. Can't wait for Super Bowl squares.
Over Josh Reynolds, boys.
See, here's the thing. You guys know I'm a Josh Reynolds guy. I've mentioned it before. I mentioned him in DFS far before I should have. And I'll eat that. Love Josh Reynolds. Love what he's doing over there. But would you add him? My one question, and yes can be a fine answer, would you add him over the guys we've already mentioned?
I wouldn't.
And it might be a yes. I'm not going to tell you whether you're right or wrong. 5 targets, 7 targets, 5 targets is not bad. Like, that's pretty good.
Barrios, like my guy there that I threw in there. I would add him over Lazard, but no, not over an Osborne or a Bateman or a.
Agreed. I think Lazard would be the cutoff. I think I'd add Bateman first. I think I'd add Gabe Davis, KJ, and the rest. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys are. I don't want to call it the fandom hood, but like, what about your boy Kendrick Bourne? I mean, he could have.
He should have been added a long time ago, man. That's why I forgot to include him.
If we're talking about just someone that maybe was just stat plotting and saw, oh, shit, he had a donut and then he got a bye. If he's out there,
You're probably right. His ownership, he's still only 26% owned, and he was like a wide receiver 24 last week.
Or, like week 12, we're talking. Or you're talking about on the year, because I don't know if you're down the
last week he was wide receiver 24. After the donut and the bye, he's still wide receiver 28 on the year.
Wow.
That's why I just thought, like, he should be owned. He's very quietly, like, been fine.
Yeah, he has. It's not been consistent, and I think with one thing with wide receivers that we just constantly say is that they're never consistent. Like, it's just never going to happen. He's eclipsed the top 25 mark 4 times, 3 of those coming in the top 10. So it's kind of give and pull. A lot of those were against pretty bad defenses. I'd say the best game he had against a tough defense was probably against Cleveland, where he was the number 5 overall wide receiver. That's pretty good. So yeah, I would say he probably should be owned, but the majority across the league is across all platforms is 29%, Kev, where Robbie Anderson is 40, Rashad Bateman 30, MVS 35, Jamison Crowder 35, Sterling Shepard 34, AJ Green 34. Like, he's still not owned, and I think the Buffalo game definitely scared a lot of people because of it. 0 targets, 3 passes.
I mean, obviously, no one was catching the ball, dude. Mac Jones threw the ball 3 times. Like, Kendrick Bourne will be fine this week. We're playing in a dome. That game's gonna have like playoff game atmosphere. It's an island game. We all get to sit down on a Saturday night and watch that one. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. And Josh Lawrence said Bateman's been on my bench all year. There's been no 20-point games. I think my one rebuke to that statement in general is that if you have a guy who's finishing top 30 or top 25, I know it's not consistent. Again, I understand that, but that's still good. I mean, you think about it, in some leagues that I'm in, that we're in together, we have 3 wide receiver, 2 flex. So if you're getting top 30 output, like, you're winning your week. You're winning your week. If he finishes with 14 points against Miami and finishes the 21st overall, you're winning your week. The anomaly in week 9, he scored 10 points in PPR and finished the 33. Like, so that would be my only rebuke to that, is that it depends on what kind of league you're in. Depends on what you're looking for. You know, I've had Jacoby Myers in one of my wide receiver slots pretty much all year, because I mean, that's the type of league that it calls for. But we're coming up on about an hour and 10 minutes here. I think we can save the who wouldges for this weekend. I think we're just going to get a ton of questions from here on out. Everybody's bugging about their first week of playoffs, ourselves included. So I think we can pretty much wrap it up here, unless there's anything else you guys want to say. Any other waiver wire tips you have? I know you've been saying one thing in particular, Kev. I'd like you to say it again. It's about the running backs.
Oh man, yeah. Get your handcuffs. Get all the handcuffs you can. Any running back that would have that can step into a sizable role if the guy in front of him goes down, or if there's a guy who's getting a 50-50 split. Just any running back touching the ball 10 times a week needs to be on a roster. Like, your running back waiver wire should be a barren wasteland at this point, regardless of league size. Man,
you should want to have to pick up Craig Reynolds. That's kind of what we're saying,
bro. Like, you shouldn't. I mean, your top waiver wire should be like Salvan Ahmed, Jalen Richard, Godwin Igwebuike after his 2 fumble performance when people were excited to pick him up. Like Kyle Juszczyk. Like, you shouldn't have bigger names than that available, unless you're in an 8-man league. But it's playoff time, baby.
Yep.
One thing happens. One guy goes on the COVID list. One guy gets hurt, man. And these guys can win you your leagues. It happens every year.
Yep. Perks, anything you got to say, buddy?
No, not in particular in terms of just picking up guys, but kind of alluded to it earlier. Just don't try to outsmart the room. Like, you could pick up these guys. I mean, if your stud has a bad matchup, it doesn't mean just throw Bateman out there or just throw out one of these guys out there just because you think, oh, well, I'm going to be the smartest man in the room. No, you're not. You're going to lose your week, and then you're going to be disappointed. Or you're going to play for the consolation or the sheep or some dumb shit like that. So play your studs. Be mindful of matchups. But take these guys, even if you don't need them, with the fab, not with your priority, just so other people don't have them.
Yep. Yeah, pay attention to what your opponent needs. Pay attention to what they need and try to block them from that. This is where that strategy comes into play, I think, more so than anything, especially with all the COVID cases rolling out. The one thing I'll say, the one piece of advice I'll say, and I used to say scared money don't make money. And I don't like saying that anymore, because we are playing with a ton of money now. Like, there's so much money on the line with how we play nowadays that I would say this: hesitant money doesn't make money. So go with your gut, decide with your gut, get all the news that you can within a week. Listen to the scouting reports, man. Listen to the practice reports. Look at everything you can involved. Don't overthink it. Make a decision and stick with it. Just go with your gut, because at the end of the day, if you make a mistake on your own gut, you're going to be like, well, I fucked up. But if you listen to every single person and listen to what every single person says, it's not going to work out for you. You're just going to get mad at another person. It's just not how it goes. We'll try to give you the best advice we can. We always do. We love doing it. This is what we do all week. I wake up, I think about this shit. I go to sleep, I think about this shit. And we don't get paid. We're doing this because it's for the love of the game. So go with your gut, I think, is the basis of what I would say. Always listen to your gut. It's usually right. that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for another Tuesday show. Interesting week. We have 2 Saturday games, so I will have some news and some tips on how to play the Saturday games. But it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget that there's 2 Saturday games. So that's the only thing I'll say for now. But to get some other info and tips on how to deal with a weekend like this, come back on Thursday. Me and Mick will be live for the pregame show. Other than that, who do we have Thursday? Who's playing Thursday?
Chiefs Chargers.
Chiefs Chargers. So that's a big game for fantasy. So we know you guys will be here, and I can't wait. It's going to be a fantastic show. Boys, another great show. First week of priorities, waiver wire targets for the playoffs, and I couldn't be more excited. And even I learned some stuff, so I have a lot to think about before I make any waiver claims tonight, which I'm certain I will. And otherwise, boys, best of luck this week. We'll see you guys on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Other than that, sweet dreams. I hope you guys, all your waiver wire dreams are fulfilled tonight, but I'll probably try to block the both of yous.
All right, fellas.
With that, I got a lot of them.
All right. Adios, boys. We'll see you on Sunday.
Good night. There's no one available in the League of Record Moose, so you ain't gonna block me here.
I'm just talking shit's sake. Five new followers. Dude, we're almost at 3,000, boys.
Yeah, we've had
COVID coming in hot. Oh no.